How was President Al Assad? Did he seem at all concerned that he might be on the receiving, or at least part of his country might be on the receiving end of US Tomahawk missiles?
President Bashar al-Assad, whom I met this morning, was calm but extremely concerned by the situation, and he wanted to show that he was not living in a bunker. I met him in a house on a hill beside the presidential palace, but with a very limited security system. There was no check security before I got there, just one in the car, and I think he wants to show that he is not living in a bunker, but he is obviously concerned by the seriousness of the situation, and his tone was tough, mainly against France. A hostile state, he told me. France will become an enemy of Syria if France participates to the strikes. And he was saying that President Barack Obama is a weak leader, and he would advise the U.S. congressmen to look if it's in their interest to vote for a U.S. strike. And also he was threatening the entire Middle East, saying that the Middle East is boiling and the fire is getting close and close with this threat of strikes. And he didn't say anything about Israel.
Right, let me just jump in here. Let me just jump in here 1 second, George, because on the core question of who actually did gas the people in the eastern Damascus. Now, we've had the US evidence, or part of it, and we know that Assad denies that evidence. So who does he say did it?
I asked him the question, and he didn't answer. He told me that there was no logic that its army at this time was progressing, achieving some progress in the Ghouta, in the neighborhood of Damascus, which is true according to independent sources. There was no logic that his own army, his own regime, used non-conventional weapons, while conventional weapons bring some progress. And if Mr. Obama and if Mr. Hollande had any proof, they have to show the world that there are evidence of this attack.
And did you get the impression of a man in control of events, or a man who is being led by events?
It's hard to tell, but it didn't give me the impression that he was not on control of the situation. He is completely assuming all the violence which happened in this country for the last 2 years. He completely closed the door to any political settlement. I asked him if he would be ready to welcome the opposition in Damascus, to give them security guarantee. He told me, no, now it's a matter of fighting terrorism, and we have to liquidate the terrorists, and after we'll talk about launching a political process. So absolutely no ouverture in his speech, and mainly warning that the U.S. and mainly France, Jordan and Turkey also have been warned by Bashar al-Assad. So absolutely no, he's not. He's worried, obviously, but and the people with whom I talked in Damascus also told me that Bashar al-Assad is in control and is leading the country more than he used to do it perhaps 3, 4, 5 years ago, while there was this assumption that Bashar had to share the power with his brother-in-law, etc.